don't look like that. It's not how it's going to go 14 feet to 20. Okay. 1 more feet straight across, right? It'll get you grass to grass. Yeah, that's give or take. So 14 will get you inside of the line. I don't know what it is.
Call to order C4 Ritchie City Council meeting Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. I'd like to invite several leader fields for the invocation. Remain stand for the pledge.
Father, again, we just thank you for the wisdom for this meeting. Lord, you've been guiding us through it. We're getting things done for the city. So as we continue the stuff that's on the agenda for the council and for all the planning that you're doing, we just want to give you thanks and give you glory and honor. I thank you for our police department and our fire department and our mayor and the council and all the things that they're doing, working together as a team. As we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we want to thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, have a roll, please.
Mayor John Eric Hoover.
Here.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer.
Here.
Councilman Robert Hubbard.
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Burt.
Here.
Councilwoman Christine Sullivan.
Here.
City Attorney Nancy Meyer.
Here.
City Manager Don King.
Here. Thank you. First up, I have a set of minutes to approve. So I need a motion to approve the February 24th, 2026 City Council meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve January 23rd workshop.
February 24th.
February.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is comments from the general public. I have one sign up. Danny Fields, welcome.
City Council meeting.
Okay, my name's Danny Fields. You know my address is 8119 Leo Kid. Again, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for your service. I know we got an event coming up, Hooked on the Bayou Seafood Festival on Saturday, March the 14th at 10 to 9 p.m. That's a great chance for us to continue to grow and reach out in the community with that growth and using our parks to be a place where we could launch out to all the events and the business around and bring the communities in and just continue to do it. I know that we talked about stuff about parking. That's an issue as we grow. We're going to have to focus on parking as well. So that's going to be a good test run for us to see how many people show up and how we handle all that. So again, I'll be there at the waterfront park and also making my rounds and just watching the city and the police, fire department, and all the events that we're having there to just grow as a city and bring that development and relationship to businesses and things to happen in the community. So this is a good thing that we're doing. And then I also got an event coming up with Somebody Cares in the local churches around. So Easter egg hunt wins Saturday, April the 4th at 10 a.m. to 12, and that's going to be at 8119 Old Post Road here at Waterfront Park, and that's another event we get to put on with the police and the fire department. There's going to be live music, prizes, games, snacks, and we're going to tell the story about Easter, what it's really about, and it's about Jesus. The time there is going to be at 10 a.m. to 12. Now, we'll be setting up a lot earlier, but that's where these are the things is what I'm saying, that we're bringing things to the community as the city or businesses or our faith-based church to work together. And that means I know they're two different events, so your guys' events, but at least I'm sharing with the community to go to the waterfront events with the city. They're going to turn out again for the stuff with the faith-based church working in the community. And these are things where we continue to offer these things for growth. And then I'm looking forward to in the future with the new parks and the new development with the amphitheaters and stuff that we might have. That's really going to continue to build that waterfront, build our communities with families and growth. And this is a thing that we need. And that's why I'm so grateful for this city and this team to focus on these areas. You guys are doing a great job, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay?
That's all the sign-ups I have. So anything else like to speak? Okay. Seeing none, I'll bring back to comments for city manager. Pass to Mr. King for his comments.
Okay, first one I'd like to start off with, we'll start simple, is for the upcoming parade for Chatsco, the Chatsco parade that's upcoming on the 21st and the 28th. 21st being the vehicle parade, and then you've got the 28th, which is going to be the boat parade. For the actual street parade on the 21st, what I've got is I've got the police department, fire department providing vehicles to support it, and they've already gone and registered with the with the council as far as making sure that we've got our vehicles in place. For council, what we've done, because I don't have a tractor trailer and enough tissue paper to put together a float for you guys right now, what we've got is we've got the police boat and we've got a trailer, and what we'll be able to do is have the council on the boat as they're being pulled by one of their primary vehicles, so you guys be up high in position with cover from the sun and be able to wave to all of the community residents. And if you guys are comfortable with that, that'd be my recommendation to move forward. However, safety is number one, so we're going to make sure you guys are tied in with a rope around your waist and into the boat so you don't fall out and hurt yourselves.
And life jackets, probably.
Life jackets and water wings.
In the boat, that's policy. You got to wear a life jacket.
But we jest on this, but I just wanted to pass that out. If the council was comfortable with that, that's the platform we'll use for the parade for the council members to attend.
The Royal Wave. The 21st.
The 21st. On the 28th for the boat parade, as of right now, I have law enforcement's boats are going to be preoccupied with the water mission out there that they'll be supporting. And that's, I think, your boat, if I'm correct, Chief, will be the only one there.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to participate in that, that's the only boat I currently have available for council, if you're interested. But I don't know if there's enough bodies for you to put it on there. You have to let me know, Chief.
Okay.
What you're comfortable with.
One or two, but it's also available for calls. So just so they're aware.
And that's one of the things is they're all available for calls at any time. So you might get the, hey, get out.
Yeah.
But, the possibilities that are happening, hopefully, are very low. But that's where we're currently at with one for the street parade and then one for the boat parade. So we'll actually only have one boat in the water.
And this is all happening on the 21st of
The
March.
21st is
28th
actual,
is
the 28th is the boat parade. The 21st is the actual street parade
Of March.
Yeah.
of March.
On the boat parade, I'll be in a boat. The Rotary provides a boat to both the mayors, Newport Richie and Port Richie, so I'll be in that already. So I won't need a separate one. So that takes it down to 4 if you guys want to participate.
Can you tell me what time that is?
On the 21st, you guys will have to be there at noon.
Yeah, the parade starts at 1, I believe.
And sign up and staging is at noon, right?
Yes.
Staging is
And
where?
you report to by Schwetman.
Oh, you're talking about
The street parade.
street parade.
Because the truck will and the boat will already be there for you guys, but you need to be there by noon before they do their sweeps. Otherwise, the roads will be closed. You won't be able to get in.
So noon on the 21st, bodies in place on the boat. So whatever movement needs to occur for parking and movement to the boats, I would kind of backward plan for that. So 11:30, get yourself set up.
So we're going to ride in a boat in a parade on the asphalt on the 21st. And on the 28th, are we just going to do our own thing, or are we going to be in the water with the boat?
Wait, you can take 2, said 3?
I have the fire boat. We could put 2 of you in the fire boat.
Is the police boat not going to be in a parade?
It is, but it's going to be patrolling, so it'll be
Oh,
back and forth. It actually is not going to be like portrayed
I got a boat
as part of the
available if you
parade.
need it.
What about our other boats?
They're both going to be in the
Oh,
water.
both
that
of them.
day for that.
Yeah. So I have 2 people, but Councilman Hubbard said he's
Well,
going to have
Bob,
a
if you put
boat.
your boat in, you take
You
your boat.
want to decorate it, put them on it, a sign on it, anything but Hoover sign.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, I'll have to get back on our branding to see if we've got see what we've got available.
Yep, that's how we got it.
But that's something I can reach back out to you later, and maybe it'll have to be like a quick turn for if we want to stick something on there.
A big American flag. Something else.
I figure the
new logo.
the new logo
Yeah.
is what we'd probably go with. So something that we can put on. So I'd have to coordinate with you between now and then with our POC, and then whatever you're comfortable with.
Yep.
If that's okay.
Yep, got my number.
Okay.
We could get a banner with the new logo, right? A banner done.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
You can.
$100.
You put the American flag in one of the rod holders,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a 250th birthday parade.
Remember, it's all about marketing.
Is that in the city calendar?
I'll cut checks all day long, whatever you guys want.
I think we should get that. Yeah, two banners.
You already do. You already do.
But if that's consensus, I'll move forward with that, and we'll have that prepared, and should be good to go for both the street parade. No big change. We're pretty cut and clean on that one, and then for the boat parade, 2 with police chief, and then we'll go with Councilman Hubbard's boat, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for at least city branding in order to get the boat when we get it in the water that we're clearly representing City of Fort Ridge.
Are you going with this?
Me, I'm going to be scuba diving next to you guys. Little bubbles, little buoy floating out there. Says Port Richie.
Forget it.
I'll water ski behind it.
Yeah, you should row canoe.
I think that's a no. He's not going to do it.
Yeah. I kind of get that vibe
I think
myself.
Chris just taught him a dinghy. Didn't you?
I've got a date.
I'll just be towed behind everybody else.
Maybe you could barefoot ski or something like that. Shows your skills.
That being said, for the parade, we covered that. Just to let you know, for the Grand Boulevard speed tables, to give you back information on that right now, we have 14 footers. This is the total price for each. We have 14 footers to put in place, 2 of them. Total cost is $5,000. It doesn't get us completely across the road, the surface of the road, but we do have a 20-foot version of it that gets us across the entire road as far as the speed table. So it's not broken up or anything, so people can't drive around it or drive at an angle to avoid it. But that's $7,300 for the total of 2. So with the approval of the council, I would say if you let me spend the $7,300, I could do the 21 footers, and then we can fully cover those 2 aspects of the road with the speed table to make sure that we have consistency. And we've got
They're going to drive around the bump.
right, and that's
Well, you
and
can put a sign there too. How much is the sign?
we'll have to come back on the signs because right now I'm just
Gotcha. Okay.
What's
Are
the
they
width of-
similar to
Is this
Newport
something
Richie's?
that can be pulled later?
Yes,
and
we can
used
pull-
somewhere else.
yes, we can pull. They're temporary. We can pull
Well,
them.
I know they're temporary, but I want to make sure they're temporary and they last.
Yes, they're temporary. They can
Because
last,
they could be just
Oh, yeah.
temporary and they wear out.
and they can be reused. So
They
we're
can be
prepared.
reused. That
People
somewhere
use
else.
them as permanent ones. They do use them as permanent.
Right, and that's what we've gone with. Is something that we can reuse and that we can pull and relocate if necessary to different locations. As we see, we have problems elsewhere.
Wow, this is your deal.
Are they the same like width and height as Newport Richie's?
They are
They're 25-mile-an-hour speed humps.
they are 21 by 6 by 3 inches high, and then 14 by 6 by 3 inches high. So I think they're all within the same limit of what Newport Richie has.
Yeah, so the 21s go from outside white line to outside white line. The 14 footers will be inside the white line. So it just depends on how far you guys want to go. The speed tables are supposed to reduce speed 20 to 25 miles per hour.
Supposed to be what?
20 to 25 miles per hour.
Okay.
So what's over there right now is what, 7?
They have speed tables
14,
that are
21.
They have speed tables that are 12 foot, about 12 foot wide, like wide this way, and they go from white line to white line. So
They got 2
they're
different
about 14.
types.
They're about 14, 15 feet.
So do we have? You say that's 14 and 21.
14 feet in length or 21
Or 20.
feet in length.
But he says the 14 goes from white line to white line.
Right, so-
Same as.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
maybe that's fine.
So
I think
you,
what Richie
you got
has,
3.5 feet on each side of the white line.
That's what I'm going to say. I don't know if you do or not. It's more than that.
Newport Richie has 2
14
different
21.
kinds.
Well, that's 7 to 7 feet, 3.5 on each side.
3.5 additional. We don't have 3.5 deep with the white line ever, do we?
So, like for example, Bay Boulevard is 8 foot width lanes. So each lane's only 8 feet wide.
So
Bay
16
Boulevard's
feet.
pretty narrow there. We're talking about
So-
Grand Boulevard there right
Yeah, no, I know. It's so the white line to the grass area is what I'm talking about. It's roughly from inside of white line to the grass area is
I
roughly
think we're
about
okay
3
with the
feet.
14 footers.
That's what I'm thinking. White line to white line. That's the way the permanent ones are Newport Richie. They go white line to white line.
What do you think, Bob?
Well, they have two different types in Newport Richey. They got the flat top tables and then they got the round humps. So if you go past Massachusetts, we'll go south of Massachusetts, they're the flat tops, and then you go north of Massachusetts, they're the rounded.
So these have the flat top.
So these are tables.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
rough.
Yes, they're speed tables.
They're rougher than the round ones.
Speed
They're on
humps.
a golf cart. They are in my
Speed
car.
humps now take you down to about 10 miles per hour.
I'm
They're
down
made
with
for 10 to
that.
15
I go
miles
slower
per
on the
hour.
tables than I do the humps. I go down them all the time in my golf cart. I go over the humps and they go over the humps and I get the tables. Boom, 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 boom. It's rough for some reason. Those flat tops are harder.
So the speed humps are made for like residential side streets and stuff like that. The tables are made more for like pedestrian crossings and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
So whatever preference.
How wide did you say these temporary ones are?
So some are 14 and some are 21, whatever size you guys have.
I know, I don't mean from side to side, I mean.
Oh, the width.
6 feet.
6 feet.
I need
6
clarification.
feet.
14 by 6
So it's
feet by
21
3
feet.
inches, or 21 feet by 6
I need
feet
just you and me
by
talking
3 inches.
clarification. So he had mentioned the flat ones are like hitting a log in the street. And he said the round ones are smoother to go over. And you said the round ones were for residential neighborhoods.
So what Newport has isn't something you're gonna buy. Theirs obviously is gonna be smoother than what you're gonna buy rubber wise.
Because they're concrete.
Right.
Yeah. So these are gonna be a little rougher. Like a speed hump is what you see in parking lots.
So is this thing like it goes up and then it's flat on top and then it goes
Yes.
down? That's
Yeah.
what you think. That's gonna
But
be
it's
like
three
hitting
but it's
concrete
3
pillar.
inches. It's 3 inches. It's 3 inches thick. So
It's kind of like going over two humps instead
That's
of
what I was
one.
thinking. I mean,
It
don't
is.
you want something? Because what's down there right
Just
now
goes
that
over.
I'm thinking of, you kind of just go over it and it smooths out to the other side. Even if you
You
hit it,
got to slow down.
because
But
if you
yeah,
hit this thing here in a golf cart not thinking, because I've been not thinking sometimes hitting them in a golf cart, and that other one there will throw you a little bit there, but this thing here sounds like it'll knock your teeth out.
I go over at 15 miles an hour in my golf cart, and those tables are rough.
Isn't that the whole point, to slow people down, so fine.
Yeah, I mean-
we don't want to make it uncomfortable.
I don't want to tear up front ends or nothing. I just want people to slow down at all. But yeah, I mean it's temporary.
Do we have the round option?
It's $5,000 for two or $30,000. What was the quote on the actual concrete ones?
it was like 26,000.
It's almost $30,000.
So they don't make a round rubber one?
No, I've never seen it.
No, the table it comes up, it's like flats out and then goes back down like that.
Well, they're probably
A hump
might be
is-
smoother
A
because
hump is
they're
only like 3 feet wide, and it's
they
just
might be smoother than
and
the
they're
permanent ones.
probably they're taller. I mean, you go through different
So
parking
Grand
lots.
Boulevard, all the stuff on Grand Boulevard going down along the Cody River there, the Pittsburgh River, whatever that thing is. You know, that those are concrete. Those things that feel like they're this long and they're kind of slowly.
They're asphalted but stamped. There's
We got small ones on
limestone
they're pretty
or
effective.
pier. I'm sorry.
I'm just thinking, we drop something there that knocks your teeth out, we're going to get a whole lot of flack from the community.
It ain't gonna knock your teeth out unless you're flying over it. You're supposed to be flying over it anyway.
Yeah, you don't drive like Eric does.
Eric, I'm going to zip it and clip it. I'm not going to say a word.
Before we install those, I'm gonna take my truck over there and spin out and just do a drop a J.
Drive normally,
It's gone.
you'll
Yeah.
figure out whether it breaks your axle or not.
No, I mean, yeah, if you go over them 40, 50 mile an hour, you're gonna feel it. And that,
Everybody
It sounds to me like if you go over them at 25, you're going to feel it.
No,
But also,
They're made
I
for-
can't speak for them. But if we put something that slows it down even farther, that's just going to be more for them to.
Has he looked at them, the chief, or the fire? Either one of the chiefs?
Input from the Chiefs.
I don't think either one of us have any problems. We're getting there regardless.
yeah, one way or the other.
There you go.
They got trucks now. They can
How many of these things are we deploying?
just two.
Just two, and both of them are on Grand? The one's on Washington?
No,
Grand.
Washington could be later, but just on Grand, just basically what Newport Richey has is what we've been wanting to do there. The neighbors just like, 30 years, why can't we just do that? That's what we're
My
doing.
only concern is we're getting rid of $7,500 and Bob's over here.
Well,
shucking.
5 if you go with the 14
It's
foot.
not
which I
me,
think
it's my neighbors too, believe
No,
me.
no, I'm talking about, yeah, but I'm talking about you're not feeling it because you're feeling it's like it's too harsh, you know?
Oh, well, I go slow anyway. I mean,
Okay.
I,
If
if
you
they're
go with it-
better than the round ones, then go with them.
Okay, so if you're good with it, I'm gonna make a motion to go with the 14 footers and 2 of them and move on, and let's move on to the next issue. It's $5,000.
Okay,
Second.
second it.
I got Lisa second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put a vote all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Speed bumps on the way.
I did want to follow up with the speed signs. I know there was discussion on placement of the speed signs, kind of.
On Washington?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify something. I did speak with the chief, and we did have a dialogue on it. And I understand the council's intent of making it a deterrent. Sooner you see it, sooner you slow down. But for us, for the police chief, and for law enforcement, we want that standoff, because what it allows us to actually do is get the data we need to actually enforce the speeding over there, so we can actually we're actually building our database on who's speeding, when they're speeding, and when we should put law enforcement there so that we can control it. Because if we're just using it as a deterrent, we're not getting the data that we need in order to catch the speeders when they're speeding through that window of time. So that allows him information to be able to dedicate law enforcement to sit there at a certain time during the day in order to write tickets for those guys that are severe speeders, as opposed to having it as a deterrent system, whereas we're actually using it as an active speed elimination.
Well,
But that's a grab data.
I agree, because if you use it the other way, then eventually they know they're there. They don't, once they go through there a couple times, they don't care.
I just don't know if the
So,
deterrent
I
is going to be
understand
good
what you're
enough.
doing.
I
That
think
makes sense.
action, and I'll let Chief up.
Yeah, basically at the end of the day, we use them for a totally different thing than the general public uses them. Some use it to think their speedometer's calibrated and see if it's way. Some of them see how fast their cars will actually go. That's why we shut those speed signs off. So if it goes like higher than 60, it won't even register. But it's registered in the machine telling us, but it's not going to tell them how fast their car's going to prevent that drag racing effect. And then, like the city manager said, we can take all that data out of these instruments at the times we need to and analyze it. And then when we're done analyzing it, we can say, hey, listen, we got a major problem here at 3 o'clock in the morning on Washington Street of this person continuously doing 60 miles an hour every single day. And we can go there at 250 and catch them rather than sitting there for 6 hours trying to see if it happens. If somebody calls up and says, oh yeah, I just hear a car going hauling butt past my house every single night, but they can't give us a time because they're sleeping. Plus the other times when it's busy, it also gives us that data to say, hey, we have an issue. We can break it down to say our 85% of our people between 4:30 and 5 o'clock are doing 48 miles an hour, but the 85% between 5 o'clock and 5:30 you're only doing 30 miles an hour. So we can deploy our troops more strategically in those time frames rather than sitting there for hours on end wasting manpower.
So are we asking for these things? Is that what we're
No,
asking?
we already got it. The placement was questioned, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to ensure that you guys understood why the placement was where it was put.
I
So,
think Chief is the one who should tell us where they should go, and he's the one who's going to monitor us, right?
well, he's the one that placed them. So I just want to make sure that everybody was comfortable.
I'm trusting his.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then the last topic I have, mangroves. So we're going to have the discussion just to get everybody up to speed. We had our initial informal bids, $255,000 from vendor 3, $135,000 from vendor 2, $130,000 from vendor 1. So we're looking at roughly $135,000, between $130,000 and $135,000
For 3 years.
for a 3-year contract. Now, what I've asked Sal to do is reach out, get a bid, and what I want to do is I want the bid built into 3-year increments so that we're looking at the actual purchase of 45, 45, and 45 if we look at it being 135,000. So that we're minimizing the impact and the risk as we move forward to our budget and our current spend plan, because we're actually adding this into a fiscal year where we've already planned our budget. And so we're looking at, okay, we've got to add another $45,000 on top of it. What do we want to take away that we've already planned for? So is that the discussion we have, or an option I came up with? And this option will also allow us to purchase it, one-time purchase, if we want to do, and just be out of it. But best course of action, I sat down with finance, talked with Sal and some of the others, but the best option we have right now will be to use FEMA reimbursement from Hurricane Milton, the funds that came back from that, which is 164,000, roughly 165,000 if you round up, and then the disaster relief fund contributions of 165, round up, well, not 165, 66,000 if we round up. So 65,000 and then 66,000, which will get us pretty close to the number that we're looking at. And I'm sure there's adjustments to these numbers that we can do, when we actually go into the final bidding contract process with this. So we could do it up front, or we still have this money, we carry this money through the 3 years. But I just want to make sure that if we're not going to take something off our plate in order to accomplish this, because there's a lot of things we have on our plate that we'd like to accomplish, but if we choose not to take anything off, that we have the FEMA reimbursement and the disaster relief fund that will help us get there this year, next year, and the following year. But what it will also allow us to do is this initial fund will allow us to do the initial first year maintenance, whereas we can budget out for the next 2 years as we move forward with our budget planning. So that will help us extremely, because at least at that point we'll be able to put something into the budget that we're planning for, as opposed to it being a decision in the year of execution.
Is this for the 3-year contract? Is it for any mangrove in the city, or is this specifically just for like the parks?
That's what we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
We're dealing with
But
Brasher. We're dealing with Brasher, and we're dealing with Waterfront.
I didn't know if it specifically named that, and that.
And that's the guidance we went and we moved forward on. So Sal's been reaching out. Matter of fact, we've got a bid process that's going to go out tomorrow to better refine, what our ask is. So when we get that back, at least it's meeting our intent of how we manage our money and spend our money in this year and then in the following year.
Could you explain the bid process to me? Could anybody explain the bid process to me?
I can, but I'll let my bid guy do it. Go ahead. You're building it.
Basically, because of our purchase policy and the fact that it's over $25,000, it has to go out to public bid, which basically we do that for about 30 days and goes out to the public. We post an ad. The ad will be paired tomorrow for Sunday's paper, and then starting Monday, then the 30 days will begin. So then we give everyone 30 days to provide us the documents, and then we do a public bid opening, and then we present those to council.
When you do your bid process, what are the parameters that you put out in the bid process for the mangrove trimming in particular?
I've already had discussions with the city manager. We're just basically going to be asking, since all our quotes came back as a 3-year contract, and the reason why they did it for 3 years is because they want to get them down to the level that I believe was what everyone wanted them to do, but they can't do them in one season. They have to break it up within 3 years to get them down to that. So that's what we're going to ask for. We're going to ask for 3-year contracts to do those two particular.
Can I ask a question? And that's, I understand you can cut so much or whatever, but wouldn't it be better to put it out there that says we want them down to this level, and they're at this, and just let them tell us what the.
They're only going to take off what is
Right.
Legally allowed each year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is that if the legal allowance, let's say, is 12 inches. It's not going to grow back 12 inches the following year. It'll only go back 4 inches or 6 inches, but then they're allowed to take off another 12. So then by your 3rd year, you're going to get down to the height that is going to be optimal for, from what I believe everyone is looking for. So that's why each of those companies, and we had conversations with all 3 of them, that's why they suggested.
They all came back 3 years, so I guess that's probably going to be
years. There wasn't someone that said, yeah, we could just walk in and knock it out. No. Because they're all licensed arborists and they have to approach this all the same way. They're all on the same page as far as that, and that's why two of the quotes were actually very close. There were only a few thousand off between the 2 of them. It was the 3rd one that just gave us a bulk price for just for 3 years, didn't break it up year to year. But when we go out to bid, we'll specifically break it out that we want pricing for each year for the next 3 years. So if we can just do year 1 now within this budget cycle, then we can budget appropriately for the next 2 years.
So I'm familiar with mangroves. I've learned a lot since I've been here in Florida. Okay. I'm under the understanding that you have to be a licensed certified mangrove trimmer. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I'm under the impression possibly that right now we don't have 3 certified licensed mangrove trimmers. We only have one. And so that's why I'm asking you, before we throw this bid out there, it should be, they should have to come forward and submit to us, I'm a certified licensed mangrove trimmer.
There should be a qualification.
Yeah, that'll be,
But
It should be
I
asked
don't
for.
think it has been in the past. That's what I'm saying. I'm mentioning it now.
The request for proposal should say that they need to
And I know if there's not, there's a requirement for an arborist to,
There's a difference between an arborist and a certified mangrove trimmer.
right.
Yep, it's
There's
a different certification.
There's a list that FDEP provides that a certified mangrove arborist will put themselves on that list, and the only way to get on that list through FDEP is to have that certification. So each of these companies are on that list, and then regardless of who just gave us quotes, they have to reapply for the bid process.
Gotcha.
And go ahead and provide that. So that's why we haven't mentioned names. We've mentioned numbers. We haven't mentioned any vendor names because we want to keep them pretty much, outside of the public until they've had the time to go ahead and resubmit in a public bid. So then once these companies have now submitted as a public bid, now their names are known. We did this research as far as just trying to get an idea of how much this was going to cost and to see if we can go ahead and do this without the bid process. But because it's going to cost so much money, we have no choice. We have to go out.
I mean, I think it's a wise thing to do. I think it's the best way to go.
Now, the one question that I have, and this is because I've done this enough, is do we want to include follow-on option years beyond 3 years? Because I would say we want 3 years because then we know that's what it's going to get us down to. But we want to do some sustainment. Do we want to make a 3 year contract with 2 potential option years if we want to execute them, just to ensure that we get it to where we want to be, and then we do any final.
You're referring to like maybe a 3-year extension or something like that? Here's the 3-year deal, but here's an option for a 3-year extension?
Yes, 1 year at a time. Because we can build that in the contract. I mean, that's, in my past, that's always been smart because we go through the 3-year contract, and at the end of that 3-year contract, we're like, we didn't quite get where we wanted to. Okay, we already own the cost because they can't inflate it on us because we've agreed to a contract where we're at a certain cost, so that we don't say at 3 years we're done and they come back and say how you want more. So we're
I
going to
think
bump
that's
the cost.
wise. I think that's wise for you to build in a reasonable
Option
increase.
years.
Yeah.
Does that go in the bid process? That's only the contract as you select.
You can put in there that the
intent
ultimate
is to-
contract may have this option, so they know that, but you can always add it later.
So I don't know if you load them up with that up front. You just get them to bid on the 3 years, and they say,
Yes.
"Hey, with the ability."
Potential of option years.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Okay. Then we got to finalize our homework tomorrow morning.
And let me ask this from Daryl's perspective: if we get them down to where they're maintainable, is that something that the city could take on internally going forward, or no? Is it something?
Can't do it. They're not certified.
Well, no. Over the course of 3 years, we'd work on getting a certification if we were going to maintain them at some point. I mean, obviously, we're bringing in the help. The idea is to get them to where they need to be. Is it something that's long term, where we just need to have somebody that does that, or is it something we can bring in house once they're manageable? That's just a question I have. And would we get somebody certified on staff?
That would require some research because obtaining your arborist license, especially in that particular field, it's not just mangroves. Your license is at a different degree than others, and it's not something you can just pick up in a couple of months, taking a couple classes. It's basically a college course. Right. So if someone was willing to do that internally and did that on our own, and we can basically adjust the salary and bring them on as a consultant or as and that would basically be their position. Sure, we can do it in house, or we could basically look to hire somebody that already has that credential, and make them a member of staff, and then just keep them on, and maybe that would reduce the cost of what it would cost us to cut.
Yeah, I think
we just had someone
look at options. We got three.
There are
3 years to
options
figure it
look
out.
at.
Right?
Yeah, so there are options to look at.
Daryl, I wanted to give you the floor, sir.
One of the things you also have to have is you got to be on a job or have worked under somebody cutting mangroves as well. Yeah, you have to have so many hours with cutting mangroves or being part on a mangrove job, even part of when you apply for it. That has to be part of your application.
I've seen experience is everything with this. experience of proper trimming, because you can whack them and ruin them and just almost destroy them, it's just like haircuts. I mean, you're very specific about where you get your haircut. I know you are. I am too. But if you like stretch out and go to somebody who's not that good and your hair gets butchered, it's kind of the same thing, except it's your waterfront park bushes. They just killed, some of them. So I don't know that it's something we can do in-house. I really don't.
We can look at options. We have 3 years and we can
You
see
know
how
what the
that's going to
equipment
be.
cost, right?
That's what I'm saying. By the time we put somebody through, get the equipment, and
That's a
hours, and
good question.
it's just it may be just more feasible to just contract it out like we have been.
And what I foresee is based on the contract, based on the amount of work that we're going to do and the fact that we're going to be, I would say, very proactive in the process of getting it down, that our costs for follow-on sustainment of it will go down.
Sure, yeah.
Because once we get it down, it's just going to become a maintenance requirement as opposed to
It'll be a lot.
complete reduction.
Those are assets to us. Those mangroves are assets to us. They keep the shoreline where it belongs. They're also visually attractive versus 12 feet tall blocking off our waterways. So they're assets to us for sure. So,
But just so the council knows, we have a plan. We'll come back to you once we get everything, and then based on the information we provide, we'll just be asking for your approval. And then once we get that, we'll go ahead and move forward. But I'll make sure at that point, when it comes to the finances and how we break it down, that we're very clear and specific based on what we get as far as the bid process.
Do you need a consensus to move forward on a bid, or are you good?
No, we can move forward, but I do have a question. Is that since this is going out to bid, and this is going to be a 3-year project, do we also want to include, there's, I believe, 3 or 4 other locations in the city that require mangrove trimming? Should we also include those locations?
What are they?
Bems Court, Bay Park, which is the corner of Old Post Road and Quist Drive, Coons Road itself, which is basically the run of Coons Road. Those 3, and then Waterfront and Fracture, right?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Those total 5 locations.
That's
is
what I was asking. Does it
are
include
mostly
the entire
public
city?
access areas where we would be the ones responsible for the mangroves. Everything else is either private or belongs to Swift Mud or Pasco County or something like that. But those 5 locations are what the city has maintained over the years.
So what's your experience with the expense for those additional 3 properties versus, because Waterfront Park's like, that thing's massive, know. Brasher, that's big, but not necessarily like Waterfront. What are the other 3 parks?
Well, the thing is like we could also itemize in the bid packet. We can have them itemize these other locations, and then decide what we're going to go ahead and do.
I think I would like to be able to do
So
like
the
a.
thing is that I think we should itemize locations in the bid packet, have them itemized in the bids. I think in that way we can decide what we can afford this year, and then spread that out accordingly. But once again, this is something that we're going to have to consider in the ongoing budgets. It's a maintenance type of issue. Not only just do it for 3 years, because what has happened is that we do it now, and then it gets pushed off for 6, 7 years, and then we have the same problem as we have again, and then we have to spend a great deal of money. Daryl is correct. Is that once you get up to a certain height, even the next year, your cost will be minimal, but it has to be a constant every year maintenance type of procedure.
Well, with the additional areas that we're looking at, are these required for reduction or are they required for maintenance and sustainment so that they're not overgoing into certain areas? We're not so much worried about the height as we are the encroachment.
On Coons Road, it's more or less onto the, that's an encroachment issue. We have, the higher those mangroves get, then they start leaning over into the roadway. So they should be controlled quite a bit because that road is not wide at all. The Bay Boulevard and Quist area, which is kind of like, just like I said, it's an open area. They've called it Bay Park before, but that area is kind of like basically aesthetic, cosmetic type of situation.
It is, yeah, right.
And then Bems Court is also an encroachment issue because Bems Court is very tight. It's a very small roundabout. Even for the fire department or anyone else, or even for one of the pickups, under optimal conditions, it's very hard to get around that roundabout. It's not a 2-lane road; it's a 1-way road. So controlling them as well moving forward is helpful.
Yeah, this is something we decided to move forward on. You can tell the cost is going to exponentially increase. What I will say is first year, there may be some appetite that we might be able to do a certain amount. It's just those follow-on years, how we adjust that appetite for what we want to do year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, depending on how much sustainment and maintenance needs to go. And then I would say after probably the 5-year window, it all becomes maintenance.
Can we put it into, because this is how important this is. He's right. One council, us, we're here, we're like, hey, let's trim this stuff up, make it look good, let's get the people in here, let's build it. But down the road, 4 or 5 councils, they're like, are you kidding me? I mean, I came from counties where they wouldn't even cut the grass. The richest county in the country wouldn't even cut the grass on the medians that the kids walked in. So you had 3 foot of grass all over these roads with $1 million houses on it. I'm like, where's the mindset of this? Can we put this into our charter to say we have to maintain the mangroves? Because this is one of our assets. And by a different council here who doesn't understand the value of the asset and losing that again or having it overgrow to where you've got 12-foot trees,
So
ridiculous.
So I think the answer is probably yes. You could codify it in a way, but the outside of that is we're the elected officials up there, and so maybe as the elected officials change, that's what the electorate wants in a sense. Maybe they don't want the mangroves trimmed because they put different people in. That's another obviously way that that gets introduced. That makes sense.
And another option is we can put it in a budget line. So it becomes.
It's always a budget item. That's it.
I think
it becomes a budget item that we plan for every year.
And whatever council's in place, they have the ability to access from the budget or leave it. So I think it's difficult to codify something like that. Nancy, if you want to.
Well, if it's charter review, charter amendment,
Still
it
goes to vote.
would have to go to the voters.
Right.
So that would be the first thing, and you'd have to see what happens. It's also you're mandating something that's a budgetary item, which there are things that you do that for. That has to always be known that if for some reason there's a bad year, that happens with taxes, we have that still out there. All of a sudden you can't pay for it, but it's mandated to do it. I'm gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
So you'd have to write in language about
it removes flexibility for the.
So the budget item is the best way to go,
Yeah.
right?
That
Okay,
makes sense.
I'm cool with that.
You could pass a policy, a resolution, which is obviously not a binding thing, but it puts out there. This is what we want. and
Put a
we're gonna-
plaque on the wall.
Yeah, and we're gonna, the intent to keep it in the budget, the intends to do this. This is why we're gonna do it. Just as something out there.
Yes. So if they cut property taxes, you might be looking at, okay, do I trim the mangroves or do I have police department?
No, I get it. I get it.
It's flexibility to be able to.
But it's there so people see it.
Yeah,
I think
it's a reminder.
Seen, yes.
I think a dedicated line item in the budget, mangrove trimming. That way any council will see it. The director, the public works utility director will know that it's there. There'll always be something, even if the council 10 years from now wants to review it and ask why that's there, the director at that time will have an SOP in place to be able to explain that. I don't think it will require a charter change, but what I think is that if you have a specific line item sticking out there, that'll be something that will remind everyone every year as they look at the budget on why that's there.
I like the sound of mangrove maintenance versus mangrove trimming. I'm saying like, oh, we don't really need to trim it, but no, mangrove maintenance, you're maintaining your protection from the ocean to your ground, I'm done.
You're getting weeds, brother.
I'm in the weeds sometimes. That's okay. Somebody's got to get in the weeds when you don't trim the mangroves.
That's right. Like a couple weeds, right? So we good? Good on that? So we're going to take it to bid? See what happens?
Okay. We're all on the same page. We're good?
Fine.
Thank you, Sal.
And
Thank you, Daryl.
that is all that I have for topics. And I'll turn it back over to Matt.
Okay. Next up is comments from boards and committees. Do we have any boards and committees? CC? Linda, welcome.
Hello. We CAC did a cleanup Saturday. Wasn't much of a cleanup because the church had done it the week before. They did a fabulous job, but we walked around, ate donuts and drank coffee, and it worked out really good.
Picked up cigarette butts.
What? Picked up cigarette butts and a dirty sock and a brush. Anyway, we had pickers. We're good. And the other thing is we talked about the Olsna Park wall, painting that. I know I asked you if we had it, but I didn't ask you to make copies.
I apologize, I don't have the copies on with me now, but we have 2 proposals where we've been waiting on the third from the third
Yes.
vendor that we've reached out to. I still have not received that. That was for the bathroom wall.
Yes.
I know, of course, with the city manager bringing up tonight about the acquiring of the property because the wall itself is basically on that side of the property line. But I do have 2 quotes for the restroom wall. As soon as we can get a third, I'd like to go ahead and put that
together so the city manager can,
Can we just present the two? I mean, if he's not going to send it, he's not going to send it.
um,
My opinion, if that's okay with y'all.
I'll get with the clerk and see if we can present them on the next agenda, or which agenda we can put them on.
And I would like to move forward with the council's permission to get the mural on the bathroom, because I think that'll clean up the place and give it a better presence. As we look forward to going to the wall, but I also throw that out there, if Olsner Park Beach becomes more of an Olsner Park becomes more of an Olsner Park Beach, I think that's going to change kind of the dynamics of the wall, whether the wall stays, whether it's fragmented.
Right.
But that's
Right. Yeah, the wall we kind of
based on
put
what
back,
council
not knowing.
wants to address.
And if you're not going to acquire the whole piece of property, maybe we could get the 2 foot so we could get the wall? If that's, we did talk about that.
We definitely need to clear up the line for sure.
Yeah, so if that's possible, I understand if you don't want to do the whole lot. I think it's a great idea, but if y'all don't, that's great. That's your choice. But at least if we can get the 2 foot so we can get the wall and move forward with that. Just to let you know, the CAC, I don't know if you recall, we liked the Victorian one. We were unanimous in that, right, Christine? And the green background. So, but we'll get those copies to you so that you can look at that and decide.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Any other board committees?
There's a Historic Preservation Committee meeting on Thursday, March 12th. So if anybody would like to attend that, it'll be our second meeting. Oh, we don't. That we're doing it monthly.
You guys discussed having it in April because I believe somebody couldn't attend. There's a Board of Adjustment meeting on Thursday. There's no historical.
Okay, so it'll be the second Thursday of April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you on that, Christine?
Yes,
Okay.
but I don't recall that we weren't doing it this month. But we had a lot going on that day.
I think they wanted to talk about the other possible members, but since we're full, since that committee is full, we don't have to wait for that time to add another member, but additional members. But that's why we scheduled it for April, because I think that was going to be a conversation about adding the 2 other people that were from the Historical Society was going to come over. But since that committee is full, there's no reason to do that.
And then it will be monthly after that.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
The event committee met again. We've been meeting weekly, obviously, coming up to the Seafood Festival. And so we kind of finalized that. Just to give you guys a few updates on the Seafood Festival. Obviously, want to make sure the public comes out to that event. We're going to have almost 80 vendors there in the park. And of course, we've got several sponsors that are going to be out front as you come in. They have their stuff there. The vendors are going to be located as you go in the park, up that little hill. On the top of that hill, that's where they're all going to be isolated. And then we're going to have the 30-foot by 60-foot tent kind of in front of the pavilion for people to be under to watch the music. We're going to work with Sal on the change out between the second band and third band. I think we're going to have, because the second band is 3-piece, and they're going to utilize the very front of that pavilion. We're going to try to drop the tarp down kind of in back of them, halfway on that finger, what do you call that thing? That awning is kind of like cut in half. That way the other band can be setting up while the second band's playing. So we have that. The golf cart crossings, you get the times, Chief. He requested 4 to 4:30 for the people to come across Grand to get to the waterfront side to do the last part of the poker run there and then end up the park. And then from 6 to 6:30 will be a crossing for those that don't want to stay for the music. And then we'll have another one after the fact from 9 to 9:30 after the event's over.
Is the city putting the notice of that out on its website?
Golf cart crossing times?
Yes.
No, it's probably a great idea though.
Yeah,
if we could have,
and then we can share them on all the other groups.
yeah, if we can add that golf cart schedule, it might be on his. I don't know, but because he's the one to give you the times.
On his who?
Rod Furnell on his ad. I don't know if he's got it out there or not, but
I don't know, but do you have the official list of times?
yes, 4 to 4:30, 6 to 6:30, 9 to 9:30.
Yeah, send them over to the CM, and then I'll go ahead and post them
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I got it.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll pass them to you. I've
Yeah,
already
that way,
talked
I want to make sure I've got the proper times to post.
Yeah, but that could probably just be a general announcement, not necessarily related to that. We're going to have golf cart crossing. So if people want to go down to Newport Richie that day or whatever they can.
The only concern is, what if they want to cross other times other than our mandated times? Because I know the chief and I have talked about that, being able to address those.
You will have people that
I
show
think
up
it's
late,
gonna be so,
Well, that's going to be the big concern, is we don't want anybody getting run over. And if there's a little bit of drinking and driving with golf carts, the
Well,
risk.
there shouldn't be any drinking and driving, just to be clear.
Well, I hope not.
No drinking and
We just don't
driving.
we just want to mitigate any risk that will occur that's outside of those windows for crossing.
I can tell you there's been crossing going on down there for 10 years.
Chris.
There's been crossing going on down there for 10 years. And people have a couple and they cross, and it's just what it is. I mean, either you can crack down on them and have blowing points, or you can trust that people are going to be responsible. Even if you tell them you can go across during these times here, they're still going to go. They go all the time down there.
I just want to make sure that they're safe.
They are. They're stopping
they
at the
don't get
light.
hit.
Light changes. They're crossing the street. We've had no, in all the time that we've had this, we ever had an accident there with the golf cart, somebody crossing on 19.
I can't tell you we had an accident with a golf cart, but I can tell you we've had several DUIs there with golf carts.
So you pull them over and they get a DWI? Listen, I don't think you should be driving anything if you're driving.
No, bicycle, they get DUIs.
Yeah, so we'll ride a lawnmower.
So the official position of the city, obviously, is that it is illegal to cross there. And that's not something that we have the ability to allow. It's a DOT state statute that prevents it. So if you cross there, you're crossing at your own risk, and it can be enforced. But we are working with our police and the event that we are going to allow crossings from 4 to 4:30, from 6 to 6:30, from 9 to 9:30. It'll be staffed there with police, and those are the three windows that you can legally cross 19. Outside of that, there's no guarantee of anything.
Yeah.
It's illegal to cross outside those times. We're working on that, but as of right now, until we get that intersection approved, the DOT state statute is very clear. There's no crossing there.
we are, but those runs go from place to place. It's a half-hour window, and you're just not going to have everybody in that half-hour window.
I mean, we can extend the window if you think.
You're just not, well, but then it's tying up the police too. So, I mean, it's a thing, but that isn't going to happen. I'm just telling you right now, that's not going to happen. I think a lot of people would agree that's not going to happen.
You get
That everybody goes through in that half hour.
You just give them a little grace.
That's what we're doing.
Again, they're
All we can say is how it is.
I will remind y'all, you're in a public meeting and you're speaking to the public. And the official city position is it's illegal to cross there as of right now.
I was totally on board with that. I'm with you.
Huh?
I'm
Okay.
good with that.
Again, I'll make that perfectly clear. There's you don't cross it unless it's during those times that we're allowing that we have staff there. So if we want to modify the time frame, definitely can do that. And Chief, I don't know, and maybe the earlier window, the 4 to 4:30, maybe that would be better to have an hour to give a little more time. Now, once they get over here, and there could be some straggling, and a half-hour window is a little tight for that. But once they're over here, then it's you leave the event because you got to get across between 6 and 6:30 if you don't want to stay, because everybody's going to stop there because I think they wrap it up at 5 or something, and so that was the window that he did. And then at the end of the concert, 9 to 9:30, everybody should be clearing out as well. But maybe we do a little bit longer on the onset. Maybe
we can adjust it to whatever you guys think you need. Just keep in mind, as a typical poker run, people are trying to get to the next location, so they're usually pretty quick during the day. And at nighttime, bless you. Going back to the conversation of probably drinking and driving, when people see our lights there stopping, they're probably not going to cross while we're there. And that will prevent people from crossing when they should be crossing because they're afraid they're going to get a DUI, and they'll hang out in other places till we're gone, and then that will create a danger on them. But that's nothing we can control. Right. We can only enforce after the fact. But we can definitely adjust sometimes. I have officers dedicated for there all day, and then if they need be, we can take guys off patrol too. They'll be around.
I would think, why don't we go ahead and, I mean, he's set the times that come from Rod. That's what he's obviously telling his folks, this is the time you got to cross. I can reach out to him and see if he wants to augment that, maybe 3:30 to 4:30 to give an hour to get over there. But again, I don't know. If you can accommodate an additional half hour, I think that might help on the front end. But maybe he's good with just a half hour because it was his time frame. So, would that help? You think from your perspective?
No, I mean, more time would help, sure.
You think that's?
I mean, I understand the rules are the rules. The law.
Yeah, we're trying to make
I'm
something
just
happen.
saying it's complicated.
Will the lights be controlled during this 30 minutes, or
No.
will lights on the
What
same schedule
we're going
as
to be
always?
doing is just letting traffic flow as normal, but we'll be there with our lights on to warn motorists that there's unusual traffic coming through. But we're not going to be going out there and stopping traffic with our patrol cars against the lights. The lights will be controlled as normal. And then, like I say, we'll just be out there with lights on to try to slow people down on 19.
It's a controlled crossing.
Sure.
Are you going to be north and south of the intersection? Or you're not going to be right at the intersection?
We'll be north and south in the median.
All we can do. You know, if people cross outside those times, it's their risk.
I mean, the other option is to not do it, and that's
Right, exactly.
I know.
So, and we want to try to be as accommodating as possible, and that's that was the times he gave. So
You can't have the police there all day.
If you need an extra half an hour, tell the chief, and he said he can handle it.
okay, I think it probably helped.
It would.
All right, so you'll ask, right? And we'll tell chief.
Yeah, I'll just tell him that you think 3:30 to 4:30 would.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know how many golf carts are going and where they're going from and who's going. You know, at the end of the night, I definitely think you might need more time because people are going to sit around talking more, and it's going to be darker then. Where the rest of the crossing should be light out still.
You think you should do a longer time afterwards too?
On the last one?
Yeah, I think
That's
you're
the
front and
one that
last.
I would have the biggest concern with because the later it gets at night, the more intoxicated drivers we might have driving on 19 too, and that's my concern is somebody running that red light is what I'm concerned with more.
So 3:30 to 4:30, and then 9 to 10. That work for you?
Me as long as the city manager approves it.
Yeah.
Good. All right, I'll make that suggestion to him.
I think that's better.
Sure.
Good.
And I guess they don't have to rush right out of there after the thing. They might hang out and talk for a minute. So okay, I'll put that to him and let him know that we're going to extend those front into last time frames.
But we also want to hold that so that we're forcing them to cross at those times. We just don't want it to be so lax that they feel like they can cross at any time.
Yeah, no, there's
Hard times so that they know, hey,
Yep.
I've got to meet a window.
any other time you're risking the ticket or whatever that
You're risking your life.
If the city would go ahead and make some kind of notice like that on their post, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, I'll confirm with Rod on that, and I'll let you guys know. So by tomorrow today they put it out there. That's that part. They're going to open up Brasher Park at 6 a.m. for the fishing tournament to launch kayaks and stuff from out there. Obviously, the layout will be along the gravel road there. There's going to be, I'll listen to the question I have for you, Chief. The gravel road would be where the food trucks line up. You guys had like a little operations center there during the Centennial, a little trailer or something. You guys going to do that again? Or
Usually we do, but our biggest concern is going to be parking because we got to make sure we leave enough room for a fire truck and a rescue unit to get through there.
Okay.
And the same thing with on the outside of the park, trying to figure out where people are going to be parking so they're not illegally parking and blocking emergency vehicles coming in and out. Okay. So we may not bring our command center out there just so we don't take up that extra space.
Why don't we just consolidate? Well,
that's fine.
We'll just operate out of mine.
in the fire department, you guys going to still be in the back of the park like you normally are? Okay.
And we'll consolidate our command center, together. So we'll do it all out of that one. So we don't have that.
Okay, perfect.
Both trailers there. It'll save us some room on the park. And
okay. So you won't need that first area where you guys have to answer for. Okay.
Last year, the Centennial people used the overflow parking went to the 19 now Burke property. Where is that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna cover his parking now, actually. So
Okay.
If you guys aren't going to use that, we could possibly use that for handicap parking right there. I have to talk to, I guess, Kim. She's kind of run with parking.
You're not going to have anything in that area?
No, because we are going to have a tent with our officers there roaming, and they're going to leave their cars on the outside because we're going to be using those cars for the crossing of the golf carts, so they need to be getting in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could possibly do some handicap parking there, or something else. But,
A vendor, handicap, some.
yeah. Okay. Parking in general. So the vendor parking, what we've changed is right when you go, where the dog park and stuff is off there. So there's a lot of open spots over there. So what Public Works, I think, pulled, or is going to pull a couple of the parking pylons there, right next to that tree, and we're going to have all the vendors park over there, which takes their vehicles, gets those out of the way, and they're not able to leave during the entire festival. So once they're there, set up, starts at 8. So after 10 o'clock, there's no vendor movement at all until 9 o'clock when it shuts down. So all their parking will be there, and so then we'll have obviously the parking that we have in there off to the left where we had parking, get quite a few cars in there. We may have some additional parking where the vendors are in that area, but so that's all going to be parking. And now it sounds like we got maybe some handicap parking there where the police were, so that helps. The Cancun Beach lot over there, they're allowing parking as well, a little bit of walk to get there, but we're going to send people there. We talked about parking on the road along the old trailer park property there on Pasco Way or whatever it is along the street there would be a possibly good place to put people to park. The problem with the Burke lot is that when they demoed that, it's kind of,
Yeah,
but,
sure.
I mean, if you're in a truck or something, you probably park in there, but it's really, I mean, the only way you could really park along there is along the edge, and even on Old Post, potentially. And there is obviously parking down Cole Keefe's property. We talked to him, see if he let people park in there. You get a little further from the event, but if we had a lot of people, that's options. Cassie's has their overflow lot as well that we can ask to open up and have people park in there. So I think we've got options relatively close.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. So.
No parking on the right of way still?
Chief, they have parked along Old Post Road for like the fireworks and stuff there. What's your thoughts on that?
So where the old mobile home park used to be, it's very narrow in there, and my biggest concern is making sure we get fire rescue in there if somebody needs medical. So I really don't have an issue with it per se as us, but we really need to make sure we have enough space for him to get his trucks in there in case we need another truck, especially if something like a fire breaks out the way the drought's going right now. We need to get people out of there while we're trying to get people in there to rescue. The sidewalk I have a problem with in front of the waterfront park. If people are parking there during the Centennial, we wouldn't allow anybody to park there because now you got people walking and riding the bikes that have to ride in the street or walk in the street. So that becomes a safety hazard. So I would like to have that area clear of cars. Now, if you go down further, Old Post, that's a little bit different story. But, when we're working our emergency plans, we need enough room to make sure we need to get what we need to get in there. And, God forbid, worst case scenario, we're calling in SWAT vehicles and things like that, then we need to have cars clear. Otherwise, we're going to be damaging a lot of people's vehicles to make sure the day is safe.
So we make sure that, I've seen it like during the fireworks where they parked along the sidewalk there. I don't think we had it for the Centennial, but we need to make sure that we don't have anybody parking there. And you guys be, I guess, patrolling around there too if somebody does that.
We'll have officers inside the park and they can try to keep an eye on it. It's just every once in a while somebody gets through and then trying to find that car, 3 more people park while they're inside. And it becomes
once somebody parks, everybody starts doing behind it. So
once all of that is finalized, can the city put a map out that can be shared so that people know where they can park? And along with these times, maybe put all that together, so it's going to be a big event.
Hopefully,
if they know.
Yeah. We've got somebody that's going to be at the entrance to the park to help facilitate parking, and I think is Kim planning on having somebody in a remote area? Like I know she had walkie-talkies last time before, but I don't know if I'm not sure what her plan is for parking.
We'll have three members from Public Works available.
Okay, so we could possibly have somebody at like the Cancun Beach lot, whatever, where they could radio back and forth and send cars. And people are going to be
cutting. If we could publicly share a map of like these are parking locations, and these are times that we can cross. Just something that
we can.
Everybody'd have
Probably,
That they're,
probably,
they're not there waiting for answers for where to go.
I would think more often than not, and I just, my opinion, I mean, if somebody puts a map out there, I may or may not consume that information. We could definitely do that.
I'd be thinking on this.
I would just
map
show
can I
up and
go park?
look for
Yeah.
parking. That's kind of what I do. Probably most people probably do that as well. And we're going to have people to direct them. And she's got signs and stuff for parking that's going to be out. So it's going to be somewhat of a challenge without that lot there. And depending on how many people show up and how long they stay. I mean, if the people come and that's all day, then parking fills up. But if they're coming and going, you're going to have spots free up as well. But yeah, if we may put a whole map together that shows potential parking spots. Cancun Beach is one. I'll reach out to Catches and see if they can open up that overflow lot over there. And Bob, can you reach out to Colquitas to see if he'd be willing to use his lot for parking if needed?
Well, they're going to have trucks and trailers over there.
Like during the day, yeah.
Weekend.
Especially for the fishing tournaments, he'll have them probably full for people.
Well, there can be other people launching boats too besides them. And it's going to be probably full. I mean, he don't care, I'm sure. He wouldn't care, but there's going to be room after trucks and trailers.
We do have, so there's a couple of options too, and I'm trying to get hold of Ryan as well. So you have the lot next to the Pirate Bar, which gets cars there. You also have that front lot off of Old Post right next to the park that we can get several cars in. So I was going to reach out about that, but I haven't got.
What we could try to do is designate an area for trucks and trailers and designate an area for cars so it's more organized. You might be able to get more in there.
Well, Whiskey Joe's, I can ask that too. They could park there probably as well.
Yeah,
it's rented by Whiskey
So Whiskey
Joe's.
Joe's has that whole lot now.
Yeah, they don't really need that anymore. They hold on to it, but yeah, so I can
Talk to
arrange
them
that.
and see if we can lease it back
Well, no, let people
for free for a day.
Yeah,
Or
it
for a
won't be a
weekend.
problem.
Right.
So, and then I'll get you those spots, Sal, if you want to highlight them on the map or something and put out.
Well, I'm concerned about putting on a map, locking in these spots unless we've got confirmation from any of these businesses before we.
Well, that's what I said. I'll get confirmation if I get it.
Assume that we can just tell them to go, everyone can park at their lots, because that's gonna take away business from them if they're expecting customers coming in. So I definitely would want approval before generating any map that's gonna come from the city.
Well, Cancun Beach already approved that. Laurel's on the committee. And then, like I said, Catches doesn't use that lot over there, so I can ask if they can have that open, that we could potentially park overflow in there.
So maybe the businesses that say it's okay, put up a sign on their lots or whatever that say seafood parking.
Yeah.
Permitted. Festival parking permitted.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they really need to do.
Yeah. I'll reach out on those lots to talk about, see if I can get confirmation, and then I'll get that back to you. Because we didn't know that anyway. To have options. I think that's pretty much all. Any questions on Seafood Festival? Okay. Just read time this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. So be there, be square. Okay. Next up is the consent agenda, number 2. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda for March 10th, 2026. Yep.
High-tech collision center police cruiser, PO number 24,493.27.
What's the question? It's one of our police cruisers that was a newer cruiser. It's a 2023 that was involved in a crash. And we thought the insurance company was actually going to total it, but because of all the pricing of the equipment, lights, outfitting, all that stuff, they decided not to, because the actual damage was somewhere in the area of $20,000. But then we had to repaint it, re-sticker it, and fix a few lights that were on the sides of it, and that brought it up to that price.
So what are we doing? I'm trying to understand. I'm sorry. What are we doing?
Just approving the payout.
So we're instead of an insurance company paying it, we're paying it?
No, that's what I think the insurance company, that's the authorization for them to pay that.
Oh, so we're not paying it. It's on our consent agenda, like we are paying it. I'm trying to figure it out.
No,
The insurance company cuts us the funds, and we have to issue the check to high-tech collision.
So we've received $24,493.27 from the insurance company, and now they authorize us to pay it to fix it. That's what this
I'm
is.
going to assume that. I'm not the finance director, so But normally that's how it would work, is that we would go ahead and receive those funds from the insurance company after the claim has been made. And then obviously we have to cut it to the, to high-tech collision. That's my assumption, but.
So is it fixed already?
Easy, would be the one.
Sorry,
who
what's
answers
that?
Is it
question.
fixed already?
Yes, that was the car that was out front earlier.
So it's
today.
already fixed.
It was down for 2 months and it just came back online yesterday.
I'm just, usually in any other world, the insurance company goes right over, writes a check and pays them, and we pick up the car and leave. It didn't work that way.
No, from what I understand, what Sal said is correct. They pay us and then we pay them, and we've already paid to get it fixed now, or we've already got the insurance. We just got to approve it to pay to the people to get it fixed.
Gotcha.
It's got to be transparent.
I'm just trying to understand. Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have public hearing. Item number 3, second reading of ordinance number 26-744, amending chapter 127 zoning, article 4, supplementary district regulations, section 127-92H, home occupations. I'll pass it, Ms. Meyer, for reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 26-744, an ordinance of the city of Port Richey, Florida, amending chapter 127 zoning, article 4, supplementary district regulations, section 127-92H, home occupations of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Port Richey to bring the section into compliance with Florida statute section 555.955, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. And with that, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments? Okay, I will close the public hearing, bring it back to council for motion and discussion.
I'd like the motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance number 26-744, amending chapter 127, article 4, section 127-92 for home occupations.
Second. That motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is council business. Item number 4, purchase request, SENSUS meter reading base station replacement. I'll pass that to Mr. King for introduction, or does it go to Daryl?
So our tower back there, Adam's been working with Core Main to get this done. Adam, our utility supervisor. So our current station is 15 plus years old, and that's what, I don't know if you guys see the big tower in the back behind City Hall. We have a control box back there with an antenna that reads our meters throughout the whole city. It's needed for an upgrade. With this upgrading, we get more accurate readings, fewer reads we have to actually physically go out and get. Leak detection is better, it picks more stuff up, software is better. We can add more, like if we expand the city or go outside, we want to add more meters, this upgrade will take those in account. So that's what all this is for.
Was this budgeted? Or is this?
Yeah.
When I was looking at the box, when I was turning up the volume on my microphone, that other box looks like it's about 6 feet tall, and the thing you showed me a picture of looks like it's about as small as this computer screen. Is that the case?
Yeah.
So that's technology going like this. So that other box has become scrap metal, and you're going to put up a new consolidated box.
Yep.
It's a lot of money for a little box.
I know. Technology.
What's
Vehicles too. Everything goes up.
Well, and the fact, like you said, the original system was put in 2010. So technology has changed quite a bit since that time. So, everything becomes smaller and, more expensive.
And with our new iPearls that we're putting in, because these brass meters are 15 years old from when we added. So they've hit their life expectancy. They're not in some, they just get old at times.
Here's a question I had. So is this thing going to integrate into the new water treatment thing we're building or going to build, or hope to pray to God we build, or whatever?
For our wells, it can integrate in it for our meters. It's only for meters. It won't take, because the water plant's SCADA system, same as what our lift stations are on. So when the new plant gets built with the SCADA system, our lift station will be with the SCADA system. These are just for meters. It won't be.
So this will stay where it's at. It's not going to move. No. The new system's going to be over there. This is going to stay right here.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a little mini tower that we pay for space at Homewood Suites. We're going to be getting rid of that once we upgrade this. So
All this is higher power, so they didn't need the repeater station or whatever.
we have one at a little closet at Homewood Suites up north. So
Do we have, and maybe I'm just referring back to something that I heard or something. Do we have meters that actually don't pick up in the city? We have to go manually read them every month.
correct.
Is this going to change that?
Should. Not everything's going to be perfect, but it should put our numbers way
It's
lower.
got to be expensive to get a guy in a truck and go out and check. I don't know, how many meters are we checking a month?
So some of them are from when people cut the grass, they cut the cords. So when the guys go out there, they'll see the cords that are cut, they'll put them back together. Some are just not picking up with the age.
Where do they get their battery power from?
From the
thing that sends out the signal from the people's meters.
So there's like little things, they're called MXUs. That's what they attach to the side of the meter, and
So
that tower picks it up.
So there is a
like
battery
little
radar,
radar,
right? And it lasts for 10 years or 5 years or whatever?
The batteries are 20, and if they go out within the 20 years, we send them back for warranty. Same with the meters. The meter's supposed to last 10 years. Obviously, some on the ground are 15. If the meter, like anything with technology, if it just shows up blank, like a month after we put it in, we box it up, send it back for warranty, and they send us a brand new meter that we don't have to pay for.
So it's a regular thing we do then?
Yep, always. We don't want to lose money.
And we're buying an extended warranty for $77,000 on this thing?
For $77,000?
No, 7,000. It says.
Oh yeah. So
it says,
reason is because when Milton came, knocked the antenna off. Well, the warranty was out, so we had to pay somebody to come back up and put the
warranty's not going to cover any damage from the storm, right?
It'll cover it all.
Really?
It's all right.
That's not how it works in the car business.
Is that stuff not insured
By
with
extended warranty.
with our regular
What's that?
policy?
By extended warranty.
Yeah.
Is that our regular policy that we have that covers like the pier and that wouldn't cover that?
Once this new one is installed, we'll be updating to PRN to let them know that this piece of equipment is in the system and it will be covered. So in case of catastrophic failure now, that's lightning strikes, that's act of God type of situation. So what he's talking about is like the antenna part itself. But sometimes some of the components will be covered and some of the components won't be covered. But it all depends on the situation. But yes, it will be issued to our insurance company.
So I guess what I'm looking for is I'm just getting down in the weeds with you a little bit because I've been in the weeds all day anyway. So what does $7,000 buy us? I'm thinking $7,000.
So if we don't buy it and that motherboard fries, now we're paying for
So
it.
they're going to cover electric strikes. They're going to cover all that stuff.
They're going to cover anything that goes on with the components. So if the motherboard does go off, if any of the other electronic components just for some reason cease to work, or there's it's not doing proper updates or anything like that needs to be done, they will come out and take care
They'll
of that.
send somebody out in the van, they'll fix it, they'll bring their parts. So this is basically a maintenance agreement is what it is. Okay, got it.
And Core Main is a sole source provider for SENSUS, so they're the only ones that you can go through. I can't go out to Mom's Pop Shop and buy this. So.
We're paying them up front for any downfall we might have.
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, this is the amount of money we'll put up with all your stuff for the next, how many years? 10 years? 2 5-year terms?
Yeah.
No,
I think
5
that's
years.
what yeah. I think that's what it said.
When they show up for repairs, are they local or somewhat local? Or are they
Yeah,
within
they're
an hour?
they're right in Tampa. So they have contracts with Citrus, us, Pinellas. So they're all over. Sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Please do.
Okay. Make a motion, we approve the purchase of the census base station equipment for in Maine for $54,097.94. Because we need it, we don't have a choice.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, item number 5, Memorandum of Understanding, Partner Agency through Axon. Pass that over to Chief for introduction, or is that you? You, Chief?
So basically, this memorandum of understanding is between us and the state attorney's office based on our Axon system. Since we've moved to the body cams, for them to get copies of our body cam video is very cumbersome by the time we record it onto digital media, bring it over there like using the Pigeon system or the Pony Express, and then them unloading it and doing all that other stuff. There's a way in our Axon system, but we can't do it without this memorandum being signed that we can actually give them cloud-based addresses with all the evidence they need, including the case and the report, so everything will be paperless and wireless, and we can give them that address. They can go in there and see the whole entire case and decide whether they want to prosecute the case and follow up on it. So it will save us a lot of money and time based on not having to be at the copy machine all day, reproducing things and stuff like that. We both have the agreement here to where if anybody is caught misusing the system or anything like that, then it gets reported right to FDLE and they make a decision so we don't get in trouble if something gets released from the state attorney's office or vice versa.
So is that access, is that they have always have access to it, or is it on a case by case?
No, it's on a case by case basis. So what our officers do the reports, they put all the evidence, the digital evidence, the in-car videos, all that. It's like wirelessly in the computer, and then our records clerk would create a link for just that, and then the state attorney's office can go in there and are only getting that information.
So they only get what they should be.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not watching our cameras 24 hours a day for our.
Okay. Open up motion and discussion.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the state attorney's office, 6th Judicial Circuit, and the Fort Ritchie Police Department.
And did you need something to sign on that one too, or?
No, you can do the chief's gonna sign it, you can't. I've already reviewed it, we're ready to go.
Okay, and chief can sign.
With the chief sign.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Public comment? Seeing none, put the vote all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have old business. Is there any old business to discuss? Well, that sounds like maybe some old business might be percolating.
Well, we've covered some of it already, I mean, so, dredging, anything, anybody's heard anything?
Oh, you know, that's I'm glad you brought that up. Do we have an update on the
Stantec?
the Stantec with the seagrass study and all that?
They've been sticking the mud everywhere.
I believe 3 of the tasks are now done. The city manager and I just received an update. What we can do is that we'll review that and then issue that out to council. They send us about an update every two weeks. We have a meeting with them this Thursday, a team's meeting to follow up on some of the items. So we'll get a specific update for council.
Is there going to be enough time for us if we get that report done to put this forward to something we go to Tallahassee with next year?
What they're doing is to prepare us for the permit. So the thing is that once they get to that point, it's going to take, all depending on Army Corps, but to their estimation, it's going to be about total 2 years to get the permit to start construction, basically start taking mud out and silt. So, I mean, shovel ready, yes, but the thing is that we would still have to wait on a permit before we could take that to, as a state appropriate project. Because the thing is, without the permit, we can get state funds, but we wouldn't be ready for it. So it would all have to depend on when the state would want us to spend that money. So could we submit to it? Sure. The thing is that we'd still have to wait on the permit before we can actually start.
All I want to make sure of is we don't make the same mistake that we've made in the past 20 years. Okay, we talk about it, we put money to it, we drop $400,000, and then all of a sudden we're like, well, what happened? And we're all like deer in the headlights. Well, we don't know. We missed this thing. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure we got our crap together. Put it that. Excuse my language.
What I recommend, what I recommend to council is that they come to budget cycle. They discuss with the city manager about making this a specific line item, and start building a war chest on the construction part of the dredging project, because that's where a lot of your money is going to cost. Even if you get state appropriated money, you're going to have a lot of upfront money to put towards that. It's not going to be 100. Now, if we find a grant that's 100%, that would be great. But I'm sure there's going to be a cost on the city side of it. So I strongly recommend. And same thing as mangroves. This is going to be an ongoing maintenance thing that should just be embedded into the budget.
This is a coastal town. Same thing as the mangroves. You're going to take a lot out at first, but as you continue going around all those channels, every so many years, you'll only be taking out a little and a little bit at a time, so which will reduce that cost. But this is the thing that if you're gonna go forward with it, I strongly recommend it be part of a strategic plan and you continue this for the next 15, 20 years.
And Eric, I'm going to ask you because you are going to all these different city meetings and you're on the chair of this and you're doing that and you're meeting all these people. You've got relationships with every single person in the state. What are other places doing about this kind of problem right here? And what are they telling you you should be doing?
Well, so the concept of dredging is kind of a non-starter. A lot of places that they want more of a water quality like approach and different things like that. So I think our best chance at some federal assistance, state assistance is approaching it from that aspect of it, where we're going to clean up the waterways, improve
resiliency, kind of like
resiliency. There's lots of appetite for that. There's grants and stuff that obviously that are available. The county obviously has their program, which we can look at attaching onto if we wanted to. We do it ourselves. Their program is they get the dredging done, and then over 10 years they divide that. They use what public money is available, and then whatever's left over, they divide it up by the waterfront property owners based on the size of their waterfront property. So a person with a larger front would have a larger share than somebody with a smaller front, and then obviously it's only waterfront property owners that would be part of that, and it's something that goes on taxes for a 10-year time frame. I think what Pasco does, and they're in the early stages of that. I think they've got 3 areas that they're doing. I'm not sure. I haven't heard update in a while, but that's they're moving forward on those 3 areas. But that's something that we could look at having them facilitate and coming out and looking at that once we get our permits and what we're looking to do, and have them make a pitch of what would it be. We can look at doing it ourselves, and then we could go after funding ourselves. I think probably our best approach would be to work with Audubon in different areas around the city that have those properties to look at improving the water quality and go after those grants from there to at least get the lion's share of it done. And then, if depending on what we can muster up there, if we have a smaller portion that we can handle at the city, we can look at that, or if we could do some kind of special taxation on those properties on the waterfront that would pay it over time, we could do something for that issue. I think until we really get an idea of what the cost is, I think there's money available out there. Will we get it 100% paid for? Maybe, hopefully. But we think we need to put options on the table that are a path to success. You can't always rely on 100% funding.
That's why I think now is the time for us to be thinking about this in private industry and or government, where you don't have sunshine law and all that stuff. We'd create a committee, and that committee would meet, once a month, and we would have strategy of what we're going to do out there. I think is that important for our city
It's
that
hard
we
to
do
get
this,
that,
and I don't know
we
how
tried
we do
that.
this.
Yeah, and
so
so
we don't need to do is like, oh, it's a forgotten item on the bottom line item. We just dropped $500,000 on figuring out how deep the things are, and then not do anything about it. I think right now it's time for us to really put some feet on this and get to run.
Well, coastal resiliency is absolutely right. Gus Billarack has got the whole Anclo River Basin dredged by coastal resiliency. And usually when I talk to him,
he's going to be here on the 31st. Yes, he's going to be here on Tuesday the 31st. And he's going to take a tour of the city, have for about an hour and a half, I think I think it's from 10.
Are you going to be with him on that tour?
Yes.
So could that be something that we make sure he leaves with some information in his hand? Or
yeah, what we've kind of planned out is he's going to be over he'll see a couple businesses. I think going to start over that racquetball place there right on the north side of town.
March when?
March 31st.
Okay.
And you all can obviously come as well.
I'm supposed to be there, I think. Yeah.
And so we're going to take him by Brasher Park, Waterfront Park, talk about obviously the water issues and stuff like that, because obviously we're wanting to engage with his office from federal perspective to try to get some assistance. So I'm going to kind of show him those areas, and then we're going to go somewhere in the waterfront, maybe Whiskey Joe's or something. They get
Is this a meeting?
it's a,
I wouldn't suggest you guys all going together.
No.
That's what
well,
I
you
was
wouldn't
just gonna
talk,
say.
but
No.
not at all?
No.
Okay, well, don't go
That
at all.
is,
then.
that is asking.
Hate to be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Should be just one, right?
I'll definitely be with him, yeah, so.
Can you take him over to Miller Bayou on the back of my house there and pull a scoop of that crap out of there and show him how bad it is?
He's gonna be a very limited time frame, so we've kind of mapped it out already.
Yeah, but I mean, I want him to leave with a like capsule of how crappy our stuff is to dump it down through the rivers and dump it into the bayou. And it's really just silting the whole thing up. It's dangerous to jump in there. You jump in there, you sink this far in mud and your feet get stuck and you drown.
What I would suggest, Nancy, make this work, is if you guys wanted to write an individual letter to him from you, for perspective, I could give those to him.
Or send him a jar of your muck.
I will send him a jar of muck, but more than that, I want to make sure as a group, a city, we're like really getting ready to like own this, drive it home, because people elected us into office. Like as we start talking, everybody goes to run to office like we're going to dredge. And they elect us, and then nobody does anything. You know. So what I want to do is I want to be the council that actually did something with dredging. You know. So to do that, we're going to have to get serious about it right now.
Well, it's been neglected for decades, so it'd be easy to sell. But he should also tour by water and show where it's shallow and where the problems are.
You know, they'd have to be a separate thing.
That should be, it would be, maybe in
Well,
another
hopefully-
6 months or something.
Well, hopefully, as we get him here, this is the first time that he's done no
Get him
Newport
here and
Richie.
invite him back.
Get him here, show him what we got, make him aware of it, and then he's more apt to come back and look a little deeper into things. But just
I'd like to show him a waterway and show him depth finder reading.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, as a council, that's where we kind of fail, because we don't have a committee that is on it. And the problem is when we do try to get funding for it, we don't have any of our homework done. So that's what prevents me from helping you, is I don't have I don't have pre-storm data to be able to go back and say, hey, before the storm, this is what our canals were, or this is what our dredging was. Now, because it got damaged, I need X amount of funds to go ahead and re-dredge it out so it's back to the original state. Those are some of the issues that I run into. And as far as having an element that is supporting that and is keeping up to date and pushing that forward would be helpful. I mean, from the city manager perspective, being able to help push this forward, because I'll tell you, one of the things we are doing is we are focused in on that because we know it needs to occur. But we're also focused in on what grants can we, I won't say circumnavigate, but being able to get around all those limited conditions that we're limited by because we didn't do any measures. We don't have any
We're doing
pre-storm
measurements right now.
doing them now, but being able to find dollars that will allow us to go out there and make adjustments. Because one of the grants that I asked for is like, okay, hey, I have emergency services requirements and I need dredging done because I can't facilitate any emergency services throughout this area because I don't have the capability to deploy my vessels. So I need dredging. So we're looking into how do we accommodate that to at least start splintering it out into the areas that we need covered.
So without creating a committee, how do we create a committee?
Well, we have a committee actually that's on pause.
Yeah, we do.
So we do. We have
We
a
do.
coastal restoration committee that was established and moving forward and trying to make waves and move things forward. There was some discontent on what they could and couldn't do with Sunshine. They felt because they couldn't go together as a group to these elected officials and give our story and what we need for a city, that they weren't able to make the waves that they wanted to. So there was discussion while Matt was here, was making an advisory to the city manager so they could do things at the directive of the city manager instead of a Sunshine committee. They just felt like they couldn't, their hands were tied.
They could meet in the living room on their own time and get stuff done under his.
Well, remember the guy who taught us about sunshine, though? He said, when you think you got a way around sunshine, you're probably breaking sunshine.
It wouldn't be a group. It would be, the conversation was one person could possibly be a consultant to the city manager. One
And,
person.
and remember the gentleman that ran that thing? Wouldn't he be a great person for you to have as somebody who was a liaison to the city manager?
You talking about Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now we just dropped almost $500,000.
We have a port authority too.
So, what's that?
We have a port authority also, don't we?
Yeah,
the board, yeah.
Yeah.
I think now's the time to really get this thing rolling. I mean, not like, oh, we're done. Here's the thing. Let's get this thing moving. So when it starts to hit the ground, we're already running with it.
The permit, Port and Hem's going to tie us up.
Yeah, but that's all part of the process. That's all part of the process. We don't have to just get the permit done. We understand at what stage the permit's going to get done, when we're going to go with this. All those things need to take place now.
But we are in the process of finding what we need to know.
You know, from that that committee perspective, I know we left off, we kind of put it on pause. We didn't dissolve it. And before Matt left, I know he looked into options of doing, like, he was basically doing the work and he could task people to help as an ad hoc committee, that didn't work either.
The conversation that I was part of was there would be a person, probably someone from that committee, that would become a consultant to Matt. And that was it, not a group, a person. And that person, Matt would direct, and they would report back to him, and then Matt would come, I assume she guys, or report whatever conversations were. Obviously,
It'd either be Carl, or who's the other guy?
Well, Carl was the chair. So from a sunshine law perspective, can a city manager have an ad hoc
it wouldn't be a group, it would be a person, an advisor. Now, obviously, you hire companies that have multiple people working for the company that's your consultant. This particular scenario was going to be one person.
You only have one?
It's not, you're not hiring a consultant. You're just taking a guy from, if you take, like what you're saying, if you take your committee and say, you're no longer a committee, go do the same work you're doing.
Well, no,
you can't
that's
do
smoke and
that.
mirrors, right?
So it's better, safer, cleaner. Bring that one person in, task them. Now, if that person's tasked with this and you need more help, then obviously, you need a deputy clerk. There's a plug for you. You hire a deputy clerk to help you. So if you need more people, you can get more people. But I think you start at the safe way to start, which is what Matt and I talked about. Obviously, we can do something different. Was get that one person, get it started. Let's see what
Carl knows more about this stuff than anyone.
Yeah, he needs to be engaged.
Have you met Carl yet?
I have not met.
I'm telling you right now, this guy knows more about all this stuff. He's got all the answers and all that stuff. So I would certainly think that'd be a place to start to get this done. Carl, and how do you spell his last name?
Roth, R-O-T.
Roth. He's a city resident.
C-A-R.
Highly intelligent, knows what to do. Let's get him.
Yeah, he's the chair of the Port Authority Board.
Okay,
which they normally meet once a year. When they should be coming up meetings, same thing.
I just thought about that board the other day.
Yeah.
So we're making signs. I haven't heard from him, but I can coordinate with the city manager and reach out.
Yeah, that might be
them.
something that they can bring up on the agenda to see how they want, as a board, want to be a part of that.
Can we put this on the follow-up list in here? Like every single meeting, hey, where are we at on this? Because I want to. That's so important.
Old business.
Old business follow-up.
Old business, dredging.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're at a stage
Well,
where
I think
probably
more
keep
than
that on.
just dredging, it's like, what are we doing to put legs in this to get it to run right now?
So we can find out, follow up, find out where he's at, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yep. On the median landscape project, it said that the design be ready March 1st. Is that ready?
No, that's gonna work, let's push that. They sent us design plans, but we have to have a meeting to finalize them before we can present them to.
Okay, so that's still in the work then.
So we're still working on
It
it.
just didn't get updated, I guess, in here. But, okay. Any other old business?
I did notice that Newport Richie was fixing all their medians, making everything pretty. When you come across the bridge, we're like sand and desert.
Yeah, we're getting ready.
I know. I'm just saying.
Government moves fast,
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds like we're very close to getting a design. So
Now, other than old business, is there an opportunity for alibis?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Is there an opportunity for alibis once we complete old business?
Alibis.
Alibis.
Would somebody kill somebody? What would we need an alibi for?
No, alibi is a opportunity to bring up a point that wasn't discussed yet.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think you're the city manager. You can bring it up.
I just don't want to violate any of the rules here.
No, you're good.
One issue we do have on April 14th is a city council meeting. Oh, that's actually vote day.
Oh, so we got moved.
So do we want to move it? Do we want to cancel it? What do we want to do for that city council?
Could I
meeting
comment,
day?
Mayor, please?
I guess.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
So we're talking about April 14th. Could we do this? Possibly. Could we just make that April 21st and do it on the 21st?
I would prefer it.
What's that?
I would prefer it. What do we got?
No, because then you'll have a meeting on the 21st and then the meeting on the 28th.
What's wrong with that?
Well, here's the question. If we have it on the 21st, do we reset?
Well, you're gonna have the swear in would be the 20th.
Don't reset.
No?
My whole calendar.
Per your charter changes.
Oh, that's right, we changed that.
28th.
Well, how about the 16th then? Thursday.
Also goes
I'll
to
be
the
in
following
West
meeting,
Virginia.
28th. Okay, that's right. Yep.
Historically, when election season comes around, you guys have moved it to either the Wednesday or the Thursday of that week.
Right.
Right.
The only reason the city manager is bringing it up because we wanted to entertain the option and give you the options to move it, cancel it, do whatever you wanted. I would suggest keeping it that week due to agenda processes.
Yeah.
It becomes very, very tight for me to get this stuff out in a timely manner. So I would suggest keeping it that week. Now, if you all can't attend, as long as we have quorum, we can move forward with it.
I don't know if I can do it that week.
I make a motion, we cancel that meeting altogether and don't have it in the conversation.
Well, Don, is it?
It's, yeah,
You got
it's not good.
stuff
What,
we-
what's the reason we can't do it on the 16th? You're not going to be available?
I'm
might not
not
be
here. I'm gone. Lisa's gone. We're not here.
I'm here. You guys here?
We're here. I'm here.
I mean, we can conduct business without you. We just need 3.
Um,
We'll miss you. That's for sure.
So if you want to move forward with the meeting, we just need to select a date for that week, either Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday is tax day, so.
Yeah, I'd say Thursday the 16th.
yeah, that's usually what we do is Thursday. Yeah, I mean,
You don't think you could join remote, either one?
Cannot. I'm in a convention. There's going to be thousands of people there.
Normally, the agendas around this time of year are historically lighter due to the election. So
Lisa can't Zoom either. Okay.
I mean, if she says it's light, why can't we cancel it?
Well, light is still business to conduct. I mean,
Completely
everything's
up to
important is
you
on the
guys.
agenda. I mean, we can cancel it too.
It's gonna happen 2
I'd
weeks
rather,
later.
I'd rather defer it to staff. They got stuff they need to take care
What
of.
about Monday?
no, we can't because SOE is setting up for the election the day before. So
Sure.
all of this will be ready to go for.
Yeah, and that gives her a day, Wednesday, to put everything away.
What if you did it the following Monday, the 20th? That, in the old code, we would have the swearing in on the 20th.
Right, but that's the one little tiny thing. This is not a whole agenda. Not a council business agenda.
Well, what I'm saying is that if you want to keep the meeting, again, I don't know if you guys need a meeting or not.
No, we don't need a meeting.
It's not up to you. He sets the
You
agenda.
just asked us guys. I answered you.
You don't count though.
Man, I can't wait to get to adjourn.
You asked the question. I'm the only person
I would
that
just
answered.
cancel, move to the next one.
Well, if that's
It just makes it easier, and I think we can cover and address everything we need in the next meeting without any issues.
Okay.
And I don't think there's
Maybe
anything tying us to a meeting that has to happen before that.
all right. With that being said, then I'll hear your motion to.
My motion is we dispense the meeting and move it on to the next agenda meeting and handle it before that if we have to as well.
Okay.
What Don said.
Second.
That motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll put a vote on favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Let's
Motion
see how easy
carries.
that was, Mayor.
Just to be aware, just so you guys are procedurally ready for April 28th, there will be a swearing in ceremony first, and then we will go into our regular council.
Right.
Got it.
That'd be organization, swearing in organizational meeting first. Will you have those as
It's
two separate meetings?
It's just a
Quick meeting and
and then go, yes.
And then just one last item for thought. As we move towards our next budget, as we're moving and we're planning this out, we're getting everything developed for council review. I would like to present it not only as the budget, but as our operational spend plan. So when you guys approve it and we move forward, I don't have to come back and ask permission to do something that you've already tasked me with. So basically, I'll keep you updated, I'll keep you informed, but I want to execute and move forward. What I don't want is I don't want pauses in our momentum as we move forward.
On items that we've approved. On items that we've approved already.
Yes, it all has to be approved, but what I want is I don't want to come back and have to ask again for something you've already approved. And what I'm finding is in many instances, we're coming back and asking for something that you've already approved.
Could you explain that to me? Are we talking about a $50,000 box with an antenna hanging out the top of it?
Well, if we budget it,
It was budgeted.
and it's approved during the budget and the spend plan budget process, then
Okay.
I shouldn't have to bring him in here and ask for that $55,000 that we've already approved in our budget plan.
It's true.
I agree with that.
Because what I'm doing is I'm eliminating a lot of extra administrative stuff that you don't need
Oh, I
to
agree.
do.
I agree.
And it gives me the freedom to keep pushing the train along for you.
So that was a budgeted line item. It said right there, replace the thing, boom.
Yes.
So we've paid him overtime. I don't know if we had to pay you any overtime, but you sat here all night instead of being with your family, right? Yeah, I'm good with that. Are you good with that? Eric?
What about more stuff?
I think we all do that.
Yeah, you're always here. He's not
I
always
think we
here.
all do that.
Hey,
Here we go.
If I could, so I guess in principle, yes, but I think we probably, I think there's a good, because we put the budget together, right?
We need to understand, right?
Yeah, so when it comes to actually time to disperse the funds, that's our last chance to, because a budget is just a plan, right? And if you just got staff execute that plan, more times than not, that's probably going to be okay, but I would rather have the oversight as the council to be able to step in and say, no, we don't want that, and probably legally, we probably need to do that.
Only because maybe other things came up in between, money went somewhere else,
But that's where I keep you informed.
right?
And I make sure
$25,000
that during budget updates, letting you know where we're at in our spend plan, and then if there's any conflicts because we
made changes.
because you make a change and then all of a sudden you have now a new requirement in the year of execution. That's going to change everything because now I got to figure out, okay, where those dollars come from, because we've already made a plan with the budget we have. And so we kind of pause ourselves in that forward momentum of the execution. So at that point, we have to stop and talk about it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. I mean, we get through these meetings pretty quick. Bob's got a 9:00 deadline. We've been nailing meetings right and left, you know?
Damn right.
And we haven't had a problem.
And
So
it's
why is it a
working.
problem now? That's my question. It hasn't been a problem. It's not like we're running out of time. We're not being able to do it. We're double doing everything. These things go pop, 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 just like that. We just understand them. And when citizens ask me something about a $50,000 box with an antenna on it that reads meters, I want to be able to tell them what it is. And if we didn't go over this, I wouldn't even know what it is. And I'd be sitting up here not knowing my job.
Well, then
What
we're
if when he
not doing a good
presents
job.
the spend
What's that?
plan?
Then we're not doing a good job in our spend plan and our budget proposal to you.
Right. What if when they present their budget proposal and the spend plan, they bring in all of the necessary employees to go over what all these budget line items are?
That's a whole
to where
lot
we
in one
understand them?
sitting for what we deal with.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of, our entire budget is a lot
I
of
mean,
stuff.
that would have mean boats and police cars and cameras and all this stuff in one thing at one time. I don't even know if we have the brain power to process all that stuff.
Well, we do.
Yeah, you probably speak for yourself there, Mayor, or Vice Mayor.
The meeting's been going on pretty good since you've been here.
Let me ask you this. What's
We don't
your
have to
concern?
agree to
What's
this
your
tonight.
concern?
Yeah, let's
We don't have to agree to this, we can think about this.
We're just hashing this out, talking about it.
Yep.
let Nancy come back with a.
I need to look at the code. 'Cause
The legalese.
I'm twitching a little bit. It's making me nervous. I want to make sure you're.
But like I said, it's just for thought.
Yeah. food
It's just for thought.
It's something else we can also talk about.
I want to
is-
empower you. I really do. But
yeah,
I want to
is-
make sure we still, I want to know what's going on. So when citizens ask me what's going
Yeah.
on, I'm not like, well, I don't know. Call the city manager.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
well,
"No."
it's my job to make sure that you are informed, that you're not uninformed, that you have that information, that data is being passed, and to the point where if we're executing it, I'm providing you all that data that we're executing this portion of our spend plan.
And let me ask you this. You don't think the public, I mean, I asked how many people were online tonight. There's none. Okay.
But that don't mean they won't be here on certain spend items.
They'll
that
watch
we-
it. They'll watch it later.
So, and that gives them opportunity to speak on that particular item. So let's use a boat purchase.
You look
that's
at
in the budget,
YouTube
right?
videos, and there's a couple hundred people watch these meetings.
What were you gonna say, Nancy?
I was gonna say something else you can utilize, and your prior city may have done this, you guys don't do it a little different here, is your consent agenda. Your consent agenda could be much larger, where bigger items like a purchase could be on there, you get the documentation.
pop it,
But you can
done.
go, I wanna
Yep.
pull that item and I wanna have a discussion versus just, oh, we consent, everyone's okay.
So
with
we
it.
could reduce
So
these
you could
things
give
to a
them-
consent
yeah.
agenda.
So
Yes.
Some things.
Yes.
Well, I'd be okay with
That-
being able to
that
look
way it
at it.
moves-
It's
it
like I
moves
asked
quicker.
today, what's $25,000 for
Yeah.
Ford Explorer, 23 Ford Explorer? Yeah, you know I'm going to give you a hard time.
But if you don't have that information, then it's on us, and we haven't provided you the information that's required to make those decisions. So that's on us.
So that way you're still seeing all the numbers, you're seeing what's going out, like, yes, like you approved the antenna thing, we'll use that, but now it comes back, maybe as a consent agenda item, depending on the value of it. You see the number, you know what it is, you remember doing that, you're all good with it, but you've been providing that information, the public has seen the information, you don't even really have to talk about it. So that moves it along.
There's no,
provides it.
there's,
It's like a compromise.
Because,
It depends on the item and how much.
because here's my only concern. Historically, I'm looking at everything.
Okay.
And we've been doing certain things for years. I think we can expedite certain things and do it in year of execution as opposed to years. I would say I'm looking at stuff that's probably 2 years old that we're still spinning the wheels on, which I think we should have had traction and completed. Now, I'm not going to name any
You're saying
subjects.
you could have got them done.
Yes.
Instead of bringing it here and hashing the whole thing out, and this means have to wait till 28th.
Skipping the meeting.
Correct.
Yeah.
What, can we have descriptions in the consent agenda rather than just it being a table? Can we have descriptions underneath?
correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're advocating for, if it's removed to the consent agenda, you have the same problem. You got to wait on the meeting to get that through the consent agenda.
You would. And the idea being with that kind of a consent agenda is you would get the documentation. It
Yeah.
wouldn't just be the one piece of paper you get with a number, you'd get everything.
But that didn't solve his.
No,
he wants to.
But when I walk out of this meeting, it's signed.
Yeah.
You have that if it's an agenda item too. Same difference. So it doesn't speed things along.
That's what I was thinking. We haven't held anything up. There's really nothing we held up like today. We empowered you to go do the estimates on the property, right?
And we're getting really good at that. You guys are getting really good at that with me in that relationship because I think you trust me enough to move forward and do that.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we have had some history problems with people sitting in your chair there and staying there, and sometimes they're here and they're gone. If we dump all the power onto you right now without knowing exactly where we're at, it might not be the best move.
And I don't want all the power. I just want the ability to execute your plan timely, efficiently, in ensuring that we're moving.
We want more. And
so that you are seeing the results.
And I love the fact you told us, hey, it's getting better and we're doing things quicker, which is what we want to do. We don't want to be a stick in the mud to you, and we don't want to slow you down because the city demands better.
Yes.
So, and I would say that also we got 2 meetings every 2 weeks. We're meeting in it, and as we're rolling this stuff out, especially budget items, we're planning a year in advance of what we're going to spend the money on. We should be able to get those on the agenda in a timely manner to where we're acting on them, not last minute. But if there ever is a case where we need to move faster on something, we can always call a special meeting to take care of that.
Like the flood. Let's just use the flood as an example. We've got this whole, here's the year in advance we're looking at, and then all of a sudden, bam, things change like, hell in a handbasket.
Hurricanes.
We're like pulling stuff out of the middle of the streets and yards and throwing it in these big trucks. So that changes things. That causes us to like refocus our efforts and our money.
That's
control over that.
That's expected. That those things, those big problems, they're going to happen. And we will adjust accordingly. What I don't want to do is I don't want the small problems impeding our success and our achievements.
If you could give it as an example, would this item number 4, the census meter reading, this would have been something that would have just been moved forward on. We wouldn't have been an agenda item. Is that?
Yeah, I
fair?
mean, this is something that the fact that we got it done, got it completed, was already approved. Everybody went brief during the spend plan, said yes, okay, we need it, we understand it, we're good to go. He would have already had, when would you have executed this if we would have been on spend plan? How long ago could you have executed her?
Yeah, we've had the PO for a little bit, but most stuff.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, we've had the PO for a little bit, but when we created the PO and did it, we could have just, if it was done already. Then this is an example. The box would have already been done already by the time we gave it to Ashley, made the packet, submitted it, waited, and it could have been done. But I think what Don's talking about is more like vehicles and stuff like that.
Well, this was identified in the budget planning back in, so you knew he was going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been on an agenda well before now.
Well, it takes time to get the quotes, to get all the stuff in.
Yeah, do that anyway, right?
Yeah, but prices change, things change.
But it's the big items that I think are the bigger piece, and I think those things are going to be the items that you're very familiar with because those are the big items that are going to be brought to you, and you're going to be like, well, do we really need it or do we not need it? At that point, you're like, yeah, we need it, so let's plan X amount, execute it. Vehicles are the biggest one. We know we're going to need 6. When we get in the year of execution, we phase in the 6 and we do accordingly.
The scripture says there's wisdom in a multitude of counsel.
Yes.
That's where we are right now. We're a multitude of counsel. You're our hired, get it done guy. You know, we're accountable to those citizens for everything that goes across the thing there. I learned a lot tonight about water meters, right? Batteries, about life expectancies, warranties, all that stuff. This is a time for us to understand what we're spending the money on the city instead of us just sitting up here like voting on stuff we don't understand. So it's pretty important that we go through these exercises, I think, so that we get the education, so that we understand in the future. Maybe you're not here. Maybe I am here. Maybe you're not. We don't know. It gives us a little bit of what we'll call, internal education.
Okay.
And I think it's important. If we ever do something that's like hamstringing and you can't get your job done, please come tell us what it is. But right now, I think we're moving pretty quick. It's 8:00. We're done. We're getting ready to call an adjournment to the meeting. We didn't hold us up. We all got an education on the antenna, water meter thing.
And one of my big goals is exclusive outside of this is CRA. CRA strategy, executing that, moving it so that we don't pause and reset ourselves next year. Because my big fear is if we pause again, we're going to lose the momentum. We're going to lose the projects.
Yeah. Now, the people out here in this community want those parks top notch, ready to go. Like I said before you were here, smoking hot parks.
Right.
That's what they want. That's all we got. At the end of the day, that's all we got. We got 19 and smoking hot parks and fishing and boating.
And I want to make sure that you, as a council, get those at the quality that
we are betting
for the
everything on you.
Yeah. Great. Good. No pressure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, anything on the any progress on the splash pad? Or
still waiting for the final from the Tampa Planning Authority. As soon as they give us a final, and you'll also see that on the next CRA. Once that's complete, I've got an entire external network of people that are prepared to come in and execute.
Awesome.
They're just on standby.
The splash pad was part of that Florida that what is it called, Eric? I'm sorry. What's the name of that thing?
The Tampa Bay
Regional Planning Council. That was part of their whole plan.
yeah, I know, but they put it where you can't put it.
Well, we still get a chance to look at it.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
They put it where you can't put it.
Yeah, a whole bunch of trees right there. We can't really take a bunch of trees out of that park.
Shade's not bad when you got a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I get leaves in it. It's not good either.
But bottom line is, I think we're on track. We're moving quick. We're going to get a lot of things accomplished, and I think it's an opportunity I think this is a great opportunity that you guys are capturing. And I think by the end of this year, into next year, this place is going to look a lot different.
I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. I've been living in this city now part-time for 10 years. I think this is the best council we've ever had. I think there's thinkers. We're not yes men. Notice tonight, we're not yes men. Okay. We're thinkers. We think independently. And I think this is the best council we've ever had. And I love the traction we're getting right now. And thankfully you're here this time too, Don. So thank you. And Nancy and all our chief and all those people, all these wonderful people.
All y'all.
All you guys.
All y'all.
Hold on, Sal. Don't. I'm not bypassing you, Sal. Sal feels left out over. Is it what about me?
I was talking about when you mentioned about people's families. You're not the only one with families.
Sal, you've been here longer than the building.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are we done with old business?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move through. I don't anticipate there'll be a whole lot of other comments since we got through, but we'll pass it around. Let's start with Councilman Hubbard.
I want to go home.
Okay. Councilman Sutherland.
I second that.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
I'm excited for where we are right now. I really mean that. So I concur with Mr. Hubbard over there. Time to go home.
Yeah, if only we could get you here more often here.
That's right.
Well, he's wanted, isn't he?
Councilwoman Burke.
Nothing, just looking forward to the festival this weekend and
That's gonna be fun.
hope that all goes great. And
I'll close out my comments. Obviously, it's very excited about the upcoming seafood festival. There's been a lot of interest in there. I think the thing he shared out has got 500 interested or whatever. So hopefully we have a really good turnout. I know we got a lot of stuff on the plate. And from a financial perspective on that, we took in more than we're spending, which goes in the event committee budget. So we've got good seed money going forward for some of the other events. So that's exciting. So please come out and join us this weekend on Saturday. So then I'll look for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. That motion second. All in favor, say by saying aye.
I
Aye.